Hi everyone, this is Omobi. Happy New Year to you all. It's good to be back, and I hope we all had fun during the holidays. Yes, for me I did, but I wish it was longer. But I guess we have to get back to work. So for today, today's episode is episode 9, and we're going to be looking at the Pan African payments and settlement system that was launched in Accra, Ghana last week. So the Pan African payment and settlement system is a payment infrastructure for initiating and settlement of payments for transactions conducted across Africa in local currency. So it's an initiative of the Afreximbank, the African Union, and the AFCFTA. So basically, the usual practice for transactions conducted across Africa, for example, within an importer and exporter, maybe like let's use a Kenyan importer and a South African exporter. So what usually happens is this Kenyan importer will have to pay for the products or services by converting the Kenyan shilling into a foreign currency before the South African exporter can receive his payment. So of course the cost and complexities involved in this process. So basically PAPPS has come to address this. You can make payments for transactions conducted with another party, maybe an individual, a company, SME in another African country, in your local currency without the need to convert into a current currency, and the beneficiary will also receive in his or our own local currency. So that's it. So the Kenyan importer can pay in Kenyan shilling, and the South Africa exporter receives in South African rand. So that's why so the way it works is the originator, that's okay. Let's continue using the Kenyan importer and the South African exporter. So the Kenyan importer will issue a payment instruction to the local bank in Kenya or the payment services provider. So the beauty about PAPPS as well, that's the Pan African payment system, it's not just the banks, there are also some payment services providers that are going to be involved in the process. So it issues a payment instruction for payment to be made to the beneficiary in South Africa. The bank or the payment services provider sends the instruction to PAPPS. PAPPS will conduct some checks that verify, and once that's been completed, then the PAPPS then sends the instructions to the local bank in South Africa to the payment services provider to issue the fund to the South African exporter in rand. So basically, PAPPS has come to deal or address the challenges involved in making payment for transactions conducted across Africa. Firstly, it's an instant and secure payment process. So the beneficiary will receive, once the originator has made payment instruction, the beneficiary receives its payment instantly. It's an instant or near instant. So within a 24-hour timeline, the beneficiary receives his or her payment. It's also a simplified process, so it takes away all the complexities, the cost involved in converting to foreign currency before the beneficiary can receive his or her payment. And in cases where there's scarcity of foreign currency, that's a lot. That brings about delays, and that's expensive. So capital will be tied down until the originator, or maybe the importer that wants to make payments is able to resolve that in his own country before the exporter or beneficiary can receive that payment. And of course, capital is being tied down. In this instance, in this case, it's a simplified process. There are no complexities involved. At least the SMEs or the small businesses or individuals can receive their capital. Capital will not be tied down, and they receive their capital instantly, and they plug that back into their businesses. So that's this is a major boost for their businesses, and that's also very good for the economy of each country. And of course, PAPPS is all inclusive, so it's not just the commercial banks that are involved. There are other payment services providers that will be involved, fintechs and all. But ensure the central banks of each country will provide guidelines. Some of them will provide guidelines in respect of how the payment model is going to work. So this is the PAPPS. It's a major milestone for the AFCFTA. It is a major boost for Intra African trade, and I guess it will encourage a lot more people to get involved in it. And so this is where we end it for today's session. As I usually say, the information provided is basically for educational purposes, to not be regarded as legal advice. Please reach out to me if you need to discuss on this further. And I remain Omobi until next week. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye bye.